You are listening to another episode of the Coaster101 podcast. I'm Andrew Stillwell, and after several straight episodes of guests in the industry, I am joined once again by a member of the Coaster101 team because the people I write for this website for do like me, and they want to be on the podcast with me, and at least that's what I tell myself. But joining us from New Jersey is Evan Scharf. Evan, welcome back to the Coaster101 podcast.
Hey Andrew, how's it going?
Hey.
Definitely happy to be here, and I mean that wholeheartedly.
Thank you. The check is in the mail. I appreciate that. Evan, you just celebrated a birthday, so happy birthday. You are what, 28, 30? I don't know how old you are. You young people. How old are you now?
27.
27. Jesus. Man. I had been writing for Coaster101 for 5 years when I was 27. That's nuts. Anyway, we're gonna move past that as I ponder my own mortal well-being. It's fine. But Evan, you just you got back from a little birthday trip that you and your girlfriend took, and you visited a park that I have never been to before. So I want to tell our audience about it. I want to know about your trip. I want to learn about this park. But you were up in West Ellisburg, Pennsylvania at Knoebels. Tell me a little bit how this trip came together. I mean, you're up in Jersey, so this is what, a 2.5, 3 hour drive for you?
Yeah, it's about 2 hours and 45 minutes from me in Jersey City. So yeah, this was it's been on my list for a while now. It's just one of those parks in the areas that I just couldn't seem to get to. I feel like it just kind of got buried with the Hershey's and the Kennywood's and the Six Flags in the area, that it just like was one of those ones that it was always on my mind, but really just never taken the time to get to. So, it's October here. It's going to not be coaster season pretty soon. So it was really looking to get my last licks in for the season, and Knoebels just came to mind. It's easy drive, beautiful drive, can't beat the fall foliage in Pennsylvania that time of year. And it just seemed like a great fit. They have the Hollow Fun weekends going on, so being able to check out what they had going on in the park, I was able to enjoy a few hours there. So when I was there on a Friday, it was open from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So 4 hours, plenty of time to knock out all the credits, and really just had an amazing time up there.
I love it. And I'm this is what people come to a podcast for, is me to read facts off Wikipedia. But, Knoebels opened in 1926. So we'll be celebrating its 100th anniversary next year. The United States' largest free admission park. So that's something pretty unique to that park, is free admission. So it's probably a paper ride or wristband system, I would imagine. More than 60 rides, and they've got 6 coasters. They've got 3 wooden coasters, 3 steel coasters, and a 1913 carousel that is infamous/famous for its brass ring. I want to start with the carousel, and I know we're a roller coaster podcast, but we're only 3.5 minutes in. We gotta build up to this. Like, talk to me about this carousel, because everyone talks about, the 1913 carousel at Knoebels. It's got these rings that you're supposed to reach out and grab, which in most places it's like, hey, keep your hands and arms inside the horse's mane at all times. Like, talk to me about this carousel.
Yeah, so that was actually one I was looking forward to the most going into the park. Oddly enough, I feel like that's the one you kind of see on Instagram Reels or TikTok when you're looking through content. Just super unique. Especially it's in the heart of the park, similar to carousels at most theme parks around here, but really just a really cool, unique experience just grabbing the brass ring. It's kind of one of those things that I messed up the first couple times, and then once you get one, you have that muscle memory where you're able to just reach your hand out and grab it in the same spot. So the purpose of it is you grab a ring and then go around again and then throw it into a cardboard cutout of a lion's mouth. I missed every time, but I believe that if you do throw it in, then I think you get a free ride pass. which is pretty cool, especially when it's a paper ride. So if you're only planning on going on 2 rides, you go on Phoenix and then the carousel, and then maybe you go on Twister if you win.
Okay. So, but no free rides for you. We're not going to clown your athletic ability or lack thereof. I promise. Um, so again, we've got the carousel. We've got 60 rides. Let's go ahead and dive into these coasters. And Knoebels, they went on a little bit of a heater in kind of the mid or late 2000s, early 2010s, and they built 4 coasters in a 6-year span. I'm looking at this, but they've got Impulse, which is a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. They've got Flying Turns, which is a bobsled coaster that they built entirely in house. They've got Black Diamond and Cosmos Curves that are both kind of more family friendly coasters. And then the 2 iconic wooden roller coasters, Twister and Phoenix, the latter of which just won the golden ticket for best wooden roller coaster for, I think, the 7th year in a row, something crazy like that. So that's where we're going to start. I want to talk Phoenix. And, I'm somebody who, living in Charlotte, I have Carowinds in my backyard. Fury 325 has been the best steel roller coaster every year since 2016. And I think that is warranted because it's got a little bit of everything. It's got speed, it's got airtime, it's got positive G's, it's got negative G's. It doesn't go upside down, which I appreciate because, again, as I mentioned, I'm getting older. My equilibrium is kind of shot. It is what it is. So we'll go to the wood side. Do you think having ridden Phoenix at night or at dusk or whenever you rode it during your couple hours at the park, do you think it is worthy of that best wooden coaster in the world title?
Yes, I completely agree. I did 2 rides on Phoenix. One was around sunset time, so that was around like 6:30. First ride of the day for me, and I sat in row 7, so towards the back of the train. It is an incredible ride. I don't think I've laughed that much on definitely any wooden coaster, and also maybe any steel coaster. It's just an all around good time. Like, you get thrown out of your seat, and it's just relentless airtime, and you're basically standing upright at that point. Also, you only have the buzz bar, so no seatbelt, which is lends itself to having more airtime. And then I finished out the night doing a night ride on Phoenix, row 3, and that was probably a top 5 ride I've had on any coaster. So I definitely went in a little weary of believing the hype, and I can say that it's completely justified.
Really? Okay. And this is like, again, it's a PTC, opened in 1985, was relocated from uh, Playland in San Antonio, so not Rye Playland like I was thinking it was. Designed by Herb Schmeck. And it's like, this is not like life changing statistics here. It's 78 feet tall, it's 3,200 feet long, 45 miles an hour. To me, what do you think it is that makes it so special? Is it just that airtime, the old trains, or what is it?
I, it's definitely the airtime. I think that part of the voting that goes into the golden ticket is it kind of encapsulates all different types of people that ride roller coasters. So not necessarily the enthusiasts, but also I don't know if there's general public or what um, goes into those votes. But I could tell that every person leaving the ride had a smile on their face. Whether it was a smile that they were scared and were like, "What the heck just happened to me?" Or the people that would just hop back in line because they loved it so much. So it's definitely one of those crowd pleaser ones, and it can be enjoyed by all ages. And there's really nothing bad to say about it.
Okay. I got to get up there. I really, again, Knoebels has been a park that's on my list, along with Hershey Park and a lot of other parks like in that general region of the country. The Northeast is as a whole. I've missed several key spots, so I do want to get up there. Let's keep it rolling though with the other wooden coaster, which you referred to on social media as the LeBron James of wooden roller coasters. This was Twister, right?
No, that
Or
was Phoenix.
oh,
Just
Phoenix.
given, I'd like to provide some
Yeah,
justification to that
I
statement.
want to.
So
Yes, go ahead.
so for all the sports fans out there, the sport fan out there, um, So it's one of those rides, like as you were saying, that has the accolades, definitely the recent ones. So to put it up there in the goat category, is I mean, I think it's justified. Um, Not to say that maybe El Toro is the MJ, um, but definitely you have that level of competition up there. You know, being one of the best, getting the recent remarks, and I think it's in the conversation.
El Toro as Michael Jordan is a take, dude. I'm sorry. That's something.
It's a reach. I know.
I'm gonna have some I'm gonna have to have some time to digest that because I'm a UNC grad. Michael Jordan is very near and dear to my heart, and you just compared him to El Toro, which I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. But while I ponder, let's talk Twister then, because you've got a you know, another really classic, right, classic by coaster terms. It opened in 1999, so not even really a classic, but also built-in house, 3,900 feet of track, little taller, a little bit of a bigger drop. You know, how does Twister compare to Phoenix, and how do they complement each other?
Yeah, Twister in comparison, Twister felt massive compared to Phoenix. So the really cool, unique thing about it is that there's two chairlifts. So I guess because of due to site restrictions, they couldn't just build one chain lift, or they didn't want to. So what you do is you go up the chain lift and then do a really fast turnaround. I thought it would just be like one of those like bunny hills and then slope into the second hill. So the chain lifts go above each other, which is a really cool experience. Something I've never really felt before on a coaster before. But just the height that it has and the speed, you do two crazy helixes just whipping through the woods, and maybe because I did it at night, it just felt like it was out of control. But definitely when you have a coaster like Phoenix in the park that gets all the accolades, I think Twister is definitely overshadowed a bit. But that could be the best ride of the park at some other parks.
Really? Okay. I, listen, this is coming from somebody I've become less of a wooden coaster skeptic over the years. You know, my favorite wooden coaster for a number of years was Jackrabbit at Kennywood, just because of that double down with the buzz bars, and you feel like you're going to be violently thrown from your seat. So I've come to appreciate a good wooden coaster. So again, I feel like I've missed out on this trip that I wasn't invited to. Again, it's a trip between you and your girlfriend for your birthday. I get it. I wasn't invited. It's fine.
Next year.
I'm okay. Next year. Okay. I'm gonna Can I get that in writing?
Yeah, you have
But
it in audio.
also true. So we're this is like almost a binding legal document at this point. Great. The third and final wooden coaster. This was a coaster I feel like to me is the most intriguing coaster at Knoebels and the one that would excite me the most going. And it's Flying Turns, and it's a bobsled coaster, but it's all wood, and it was not manufactured by any, you know, coaster manufacturer. It was built by the Knoebels team. Like this to me is it's a rarity in the industry these days. Um, but the Flying Turns, is it out of, or is it as out of control as it seems like it is?
It is. I mean, it's got some pretty high walls that you feel like you're gonna go upside down, and that the entire car is gonna flip over. So, towards the end of the ride, it actually does get pretty crazy. Definitely took me by surprise. I'm trying to compare it to other rides I've been on. I did the bobsled at Great Escape when that was in operation, and then sick brag, but I did a bobsled in Lake Placid, like an actual bobsled. So it gives a great experience for that. Definitely kind of that like out of control whippiness. I wish the ride was a bit longer because I enjoyed it so much, and it's like such a unique experience. I remember as a kid, this was one of those rides that like they had so many delays getting it up, and it's one of those like will they ever build this or will it ever open? Um, and there is a sign outside of the ride. It was like I can't remember word for word what it was. It was like they said we couldn't build it, but we did, or something, or like because we wanted to. So I thought that was pretty funny, and quick little nod to that sense of humor. But yeah, it's an awesome ride. It's just so unique, and now with bobsled being out, it's just probably one of the most unique rides in the country.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the Wikipedia page again. So it opened in 2013. Construction began in 2006. Like we're talking like Disney coaster levels of like time to build something. So I'm glad that it's as out of control and enjoyable. You know, for 7 years for a park like that to be consistently working on it, fine tuning it, and then finally getting it open after all that time. That speaks really highly of the Knoebels team and their dedication to kind of bring this to life. So another one that I just again really want to get up. Like I'm very jealous of this trip that you've taken. Like I want to get up there. It seems like such a great time. And then we're gonna talk one of the steel coasters because I think, or maybe two, because you said you didn't get all the credits. You need to check your enthusiast card at the door because you didn't ride Cosmo's curbs, but you did ride Impulse, which is a I thought was a Gerstlauer Eurofighter, but it is actually a Zero coaster.
Yeah, I this was probably the first one of those for me. Honestly, like a glass smooth ride experience. Definitely some pretty intense forces towards the end. I think I had a little gray out moment as you're going into the brake run. But just one of those rides, like it's such a great juxtaposition between that and the wooden coasters that it just maybe it's because I rode Twister in Phoenix before and then hopping on Impulse that just felt like a super smooth experience all around. So yeah, it's a really great, and it's only coaster in the park with inversion. So definitely a good asset for the lineup.
Did you? I mean, again, we got the eight. Looks like 8 passenger trains here, so not really a big difference between first or second row. But were you in that first row? Like, I'm just curious how this like fits within a park that, by all accounts, is kind of like a souped up campground county fair type vibe. Like, how does this fit in there? I feel like it's a park like almost like Beach Bend, where Kentucky Rumbler is out there to the side, and then you've got all of these like carnival rides around it. Is that kind of how it feels with Impulse at Knoebels?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels the most out of place, I guess, or like the new era type of rides. And oddly enough, it's the first ride you see when you walk into the park from the main parking lot. Um, so it definitely gives that like I don't know if it's like a false pretense of what the park is about, having that ride be the first one there, but it's also the first ride that you see when you're driving in. So it's like you don't really see much of Phoenix and Twister because they're just so hidden and back there, and you're only really seeing the front entrance to those rides. But I feel like Impulse, you definitely get the most viewpoints of, and it's also great being the tallest ride in the park that you have a really beautiful view of the tree skyline and the mountains.
Hmm. All right, I love that. And another thing Knoebels is known for, we talked the golden tickets earlier. It's the food. Like they've won best food so many times. I think they split it with Dollywood a couple of times, or Dollywood might have won, a handful of times the golden tickets. But Knoebels has won this award like 20 plus times over the history of the golden tickets for best food at an amusement park. And you were sending me some pictures of like menus and things, and you sent me this picture of this brisket sandwich that looked amazing. But like, what's the food vibe here? Like, is it a bunch of different things? Is it more geared towards like carnival food, or what's kind of the food vibes, for lack of a better
Yeah,
term?
yeah. I mean, it's awesome. It just with the prices overall, like the majority of the food being $10 and under, I feel like that's so rare at a theme park these days. Anywhere, Europe or U.S. But just having that accessibility, it did kind of give state fair a little bit, just having like the little booths and there was like a little something for everything. But I mean, you also did have like the wholesome feel too. There was like a fudge shop, and then they have their own unique things as well too. Like I had a tiger tail, which was a pretzel with chocolate and peanut butter and Butterfinger. That might be only an exclusive October one, so I don't want to give any false hope to someone going there in the spring. But kudos to you if you have it. And then yeah, I guess we had the potato cakes, which is like $2 for one. It's definitely a great place if you want to sample a bunch of things. And then going back to that brisket sandwich, I mean, $8, you literally can't beat that anywhere inside or outside of the theme park. And for it to be that
And I,
good, it was such a well deserved golden ticket award. I mean, I did go to Dollywood recently, so just to give a little cross comparison, I mean, I hold Dollywood cinnamon bread in very high regards, and I hope John's listening to this. But it those two parks probably go toe to toe for me with best food.
yeah, and I think it would make sense that they were 1A and 1B for so many years in the golden tickets, but they have officially retired the golden ticket best food award because Knoebels was winning it so much. And I'm looking like there's like I'm seeing things on menus like alligator bites and apple cider slushes, and like you said, the price point for food like this. You said most things were like under $10, and like there are some parks you can't get 2 bottles of water for under $10. Like it's wild to me. And then just the variety of food and the options, like it's it's nuts. And again, I think there's probably a benefit to that of being a smaller family owned park. It's been in the Knoebel family for its entire existence, and it's a different way of approaching a theme park than like I feel like we're used to with all of these big corporate parks, right?
Yeah, I mean for sure. I love the idea that you can go there and pay as much or as little as you want. I feel like for some of the larger parks, even just the price of parking before you even walk through the gate is astronomical. So the fact that you can just do one ride on Phoenix, get a tiger tail, and spend $15 max, also free parking. So it's just such a good experience that even if you're on a budget, you're not going to get priced out. And if you're combining it with another park in the area like Hershey Park, that's going to be a lot pricier. So if you couple it, it's going to kind of even that level out.
How far is it from Hershey? Like, my knowledge of Pennsylvania geography is not, you know, I know nothing about Pennsylvania other than like these places exist, and Kennywood's in Pittsburgh, and Dorney is in Allentown, and like I know Pittsburgh cities because of amusement parks. Like, where is it in relation to Hershey or Dorney or somewhere like I mean, it's on the other side of the state from Kennywood, but where is it in relation to those eastern Pennsylvania parks?
So to lay out the coaster's guide to Pennsylvania. So if you're looking at a map, you're gonna go. Kennywood is all the way to the left of the state, almost by Ohio. Then
Yep.
you have Hershey, which is smack dab in the middle, a little bit towards the bottom of the state, and then Dorney's going to be all the way to the right by New Jersey. So looking at where Hershey is in that middle of the state, it's going to be about an hour and a half north through the mountains. Beautiful drive. Um, and yeah, I mean, that is probably your best overnight is to take advantage of the I think it's like the twilight hours for Hershey. So if you can get to Knoebels the day that you're going there and then shoot down to Hershey, get those twilight hours in, and then do a full day at Hershey the next day, that is literally the perfect weekend.
All right, I'm gonna have to again mark it down because those are the two Pennsylvania parks, and I've got to get back to Dorney and ride Iron Menace. I know this, so Ryan Eldridge, if you're listening, it's gonna happen. I promise. Um, I want to talk a little bit more about the Halloween and kind of the fall vibes because again, you were sending me pictures throughout the trip. There was some good Halloween decor throughout the park. They don't do like a haunt or anything though, do they?
No, nothing too intense. I mean, when you're driving to the park, you'll see billboards with cartoon raccoons dressed up in a Halloween costume. So that's exactly the vibe that I got from Hollow Fun. It's just all around good family fun entertainment. You'll see a lot of people dressed up in costumes. It's really wholesome. They have I think they have a haunted train ride, and also the haunted house, which I think is a year-round operation there. But that line was packed, so it was. I mean, being the first or second weekend in October, everybody was already in the Halloween spirit.
Yeah. And those haunted houses, I'm thinking it's kind of along the lines. I forget the guy who I'm looking it up right now. So again, bear with me. The haunted house, haunted house, haunted house. Of course, there's so many rides here on the Wikipedia page, but it's those kind of the classic, more kitschy haunted houses that are kind of maybe a step up from what you'd see at like a state fair, but not haunted mansion. But we're talking, you know, maybe not quite Spirit Halloween type animatronics in these things, but I'm thinking it's just you ride it more for the kitsch factor than to be scared, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you go on to have a fun time. Also with just to pivot back to Black Diamond. So that
Yeah.
was a weird ride for me. It was one of those ones that I knew about but never watched the POV. So I went in completely blind to what it was. It's a weird, funky little ride. I mean, it's got the coaster chain lifts and I think like two drops. So nothing to really write home about from a coaster aspect, but they did have a little haunted mine theme. Also, don't know if that's something that exists year round or if they dress it up a little bit for Halloween. But there were a lot of different touches throughout the park. I mean, when you're going on Phoenix, there's a tunnel before the chain lift that I when I did the ride around sunset. So that actually made it completely pitch black. And then when I did the night ride, they actually blacklit the entire tunnel. So they had some skeletons and some paint going on there. So really, really fun vibe.
Oh, nice. I love it. Other than the carousel and the coasters, were there any other attractions that you rode, or were you kind of stretched for time?
Yeah, I mean, with the 4 hour limit, I kind of prioritized um, what I wanted to do, but it's a super walkable park. I think from the front gate to Phoenix, which is in the back of the park, it's maybe a 10-minute walk. So I think I must have done probably 4 laps around the park and it felt like nothing.
Okay, got it. Um, and then for people who are kind of on the fence about Knoebels, like, what do you think is the best selling point? I mean, obviously, there's the free admission, the food, the coasters. Is there anything else where we're not thinking of that? It's like, yeah, this is why you should go to Knoebels.
I think they offer a lot more than just the park. Driving through it, I didn't realize that they had an entire golf course. I knew they had camping, but I didn't realize the extent of it. And also, you can literally walk out of your cabin and be 2 minutes away from Phoenix. So it's just a super cool place to be. Especially if you have family and kids, it's just an all around awesome experience. Like it's just I don't think I've ever had a more wholesome experience at a theme park, and I truly mean that. Just with the rides, the food, the people that were there, all the employees were super nice. There was one interaction I had with one of the workers at a food stand where I asked for a cup of ice water with my girlfriend, and I usually just take one and run with it at any other park, and she's like, "Do you want two?" And I hesitated, and I was like, yes." So she was super grateful with making the customer's experience just the best that it can be. So you really can't go there and have a bad time.
All right, I gotta get up there. I really do. You didn't camp. I'm assuming you turned around and drove back home that night, right?
I stayed in a hotel about half an hour away. I did
Okay.
Hershey's Chocolate World on the way back, but yeah, did not get to Hershey this time around.
That's okay. There's always time. You're close enough up there where it's a couple hour drive. It's a beautiful drive. So, I'm again extremely jealous of this trip just because it seems like the fall feels like the perfect time to go. You get the experience of the fall, the Halloween season. You get to ride the coasters. You get a little chill in the air. That's just I feel like you hit the sweet spot to go. Do you think fall was probably the best time of year to visit Knoebels?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's in the middle of a valley, so the foliage that goes around there, they one of the ones that I wish I got on was they had a chairlift that goes to the top of the mountain. So definitely next time is something that I would want to do. But I mean, to be there in the fall time, like as you said it, with the chill in the air. Definitely pick that over a crowded apple picking if you're in the Northeast. So it's really just like a magical fall experience.
Yeah. Apple picking, I feel like, is overrated. My wife has never tried to get me to go apple picking yet. I don't know if that's like a thing you and your girlfriend have done and you like love it. I feel like apple picking's overrated. That's my hot take of the day.
I always try to go in September before the crowds get crazy, but then you're just like sweating in 85-degree weather picking apples that you're not going to eat.
Are you wearing your flannel shirt though because it's fall and you're apple picking?
Yes.
Yeah, yep. I called you on it. Yep. Okay. Jesse, if you're
Guilty.
listening, he loves apple picking. Okay? He loves it. It's his favorite thing to do. Awesome. Evan, before we wrap this up, anything we've missed about Knoebels? I'm reading they've got a fascination parlor, which I personally love, allegedly. I don't know if it's still there. I don't know how up to date Wikipedia is. But Fascination is a game that I loved playing when we went to Indiana Beach a couple years ago, and it's one of the few remaining Fascination parlors. So that's a pretty cool thing. Um, anything else that we've missed?
Um, I would. I'm trying to think. So there were actually a few games that we played. With a bunch of them being $1 or less, they had change machines, so you can drop a quick buck in there and get some quarters. Because I know nobody carries cash around. But you can see, yeah, you drop like 50 cents into a machine. I did the one um with the bowling ball that you have to kind of get in the crevice on the steel beams. Um, I did not get it. Jesse did. Very proud of her, if you can hear me. But I mean, it's again, it's like one of those things that like if you're at Six Flags spending $10 to toss a ball into a weird shaped basketball rim, but here you can just drop 50 cents into a machine and win a cool prize. I mean, can't beat it.
What did she win for the roll a bowl or bowl a roll or whatever it's called?
I guess like a little stuffed mushroom.
Okay, so not like a big over the top
No, I mean
giant.
they had it so that if you beat the game multiple times that you can level up your prize. But yeah, for the one time thing, it's a pretty small prize you get.
Okay, well, again, Jesse, we're very proud of you because you did it. And Evan, can't throw the ring in the lion's mouth. He can't roll the ball, but he loves apple picking. Don't forget it. So, Evan, I'm really glad you got to go and have a really good birthday trip. And but yeah, I feel like Knoebels, if you're planning a trip to those Pennsylvania parks, be it Hershey or Dorney, maybe a little far from Kennywood, but I feel like it's a great addition to add on to any trip through that northeast area of the country. So, and I think if you want to check out Knoebels, their website is knoebels.com, Knoebels.com. They're also on social media. I believe it's at Knoebels, most places. They used to be at Cosmo KG on Twitter, which was really confusing for the longest time. But Cosmo is their park mascot, but I think they've switched that now back over to at Knoebels. So if you search Knoebels, you'll be able to find it. And after you search Knoebels and follow them, you're going to search Coaster101 and follow us on all of our great adventures. Evan has got a. Have you written anything about Knoebels yet for the site?
No, but it'll be up soon.
Okay, by the time this releases, I'm going to hold Evan's feet to the fire here. There will be an article on coaster101.com about Knoebels, and if you dig far enough back into the archives, I'm sure Nick or Kyle or somebody who's been to Knoebels, they've probably written about it as well. So just search Knoebels on Coaster 101. We're also at Coaster 101 on all of the social medias: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest. I don't know. Wherever there's social media, you can find us. And if you're listening, make sure you're liking, rating, reviewing, and subscribing, because those reviews and the numbers are what keeps us going and keeps us producing this show. And we just enjoy doing it because sometimes we get great interviews. People in the industry. Recent episodes have included Dave Cobb, and we've had Pete Owens and Devin Olson talking about the Dollywood Dream. At Jeffrey Siebert. We had our guy Coasters, Haunts, and Dark Rides. Adam Sandy was on the show recently. So we get some great interviews. But there are times now when it's just like the Coaster 101 team went to a park, and we're going to tell you about it for half an hour. And just we're going to keep that going. So if you like what you hear, tell a friend. And, hopefully we can continue to build that listening audience. Right? Evan, sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
Join us.
Love that. Love it. And then Coaster 101 merch. I think it's coaster101.com/merch. That seems right. It'll get to our TeePublic or our Dashery shop. We've got some great Coaster 101 inspired merch. Coaster101.dashery.com. That's where that goes. We've got some of our new logo stuff. We've got some coaster inspired, some pop culture inspired things. We've got a shirt that's called Smothered and Covered that looks like a Waffle House sign. Or it resembles a breakfast restaurant that's open 24 hours a day. I don't know if we can say Waffle House. You'll see it when you go to the site. And last but certainly not least, thanks as always to Justin Mabry of JM Entertainment for our theme music. I think we're going to have Justin on the show soon. They've got some really cool stuff they're working on with Norwegian Cruise Lines, of all people. So they're doing some cruise ship entertainment as well, in addition to their theme park stuff. But that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Coaster 101 podcast. See, Evan, I made it the whole time, and I didn't even make one Chili's reference.
I was waiting for one at the end because it never happened.